Good morning, guys. It is currently Friday, May 1st, 8:04 a.m. I am feeling a little bit better. Last night, I did take some medication. I did not take the Benadryl last night, actually. I kind of laid down and felt like I was breathing just a little bit better. But with that being said, though, I did actually look up a few things that was actually potentially, or that might potentially help with anxiety and just in general, um, like allergies, I guess. The allergies that I was experiencing as of yesterday were, it felt like shortness of breath. I still feel a little bit of shortness of breath this morning. It's probably due to the high pollen count out and about right now. It's currently, again, 8:04, 8:05. So here in California, or at least in the spot that I'm at, it actually, it's really high during the times of like 5 in the morning to 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. And then it starts to get better at night. So I actually noticed that breathing is a little better at night, and I feel a lot better at night. So I'm actually really starting to believe that this is just seasonal allergies. It definitely feels really bad during well, not really bad, but it definitely feels uncomfortable during the morning. And the thing is that I work during the morning, at 4 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's just some things that I'm gonna need to take care of. But overall, though, the feeling of anxiety definitely did diminish yesterday. I also noticed that my anger, maybe because I'm being a lot more mindful of the fact that all of these issues might potentially be causing me to feel the way that I do. I believe that maybe I'm doing a little bit better. I really want to believe that I'm doing better. Again, like I said, I want to get better. I want to feel like I'm better. I don't want to feel like I'm just like, lost, walking around aimlessly. I'm really tired of it. I'm exhausted. Sometimes the fatigue sometimes sets in, and sometimes, yeah, I will get like these feelings in my head. It feels like it burns, like from the side, like right here, all right here. And I'm not sure if it's the medication or if it's like a new symptom of like anxiety that potentially might have been just changing a little bit, because sometimes my sensations or my hyper awareness of my body sometimes manifests other strange feelings in my body that are natural, but I've never actually felt them before. And those sensations sometimes with health anxiety definitely makes it worse. And I think that staying away from those triggers, right? Staying away from those thoughts and trying to change those thoughts, regardless of what you're actually feeling at that very moment, is actually a very powerful sorry. It's very interesting to see that throughout the time of me just talking to myself and being a lot more positive with the outlook of what's going on, I personally feel a little bit better. I don't know how you guys might feel or how anyone else might feel in regards to having a better outlook, but I mean, I know it's easier said than done. But overall, again, like I said, I've stopped smoking. There's a whole bunch of stuff, just health benefit wise, that I feel like is already starting to happen. For whatever reason, I would always lose a lot of concentration whenever I was doing anything. It felt like I was always just up and about, and it just felt like I just I wasn't fully mentally there all the time. It felt like every single time that I wanted to do something or anything like that, I needed to have a smoke. I needed to smoke. If I wanted to go out to go do something, I needed to smoke. If I wanted to sit down and play some video games or whatever, I needed to smoke first. And that was like constant. Like it felt like I was doing it like every couple hours, every hour to a couple hours, and then it got worse. I guess on my days off, it definitely got a lot worse. But overall, again, like I said, everything is getting a lot better. I know this video isn't really structured in a way that kind of makes sense, but I'm just talking about my day. I'm talking about what happened yesterday, the feelings, and some of the stuff that I'm trying to process. Um, if you guys have any advice or any type of comments, anything, any type of supportive comments, always helps. It always helps. I always feel like we need to. A lot of times, I feel like now I've been really craving some human interaction. I think it's because with that human interaction, I at least I personally, I'm starting to feel like I lose my train of thought, or not my train of thought. Sorry, I lose my sense of anxiety when I'm talking to other people. I feel like maybe sometimes that's just what it is. It doesn't always have to be about you talking about your anxiety. Sometimes it's just talking about something else completely. As you guys can tell, I have not yet taken my medication. I'm deciding not to take any of the allergy medication today. I want to see if things get better later on today. I want to try to avoid taking any type of antihistamines, and I've actually been doing stuff like eating a lot of oranges because apparently vitamin C is like a natural what is it? It's like a natural antihistamine itself. So there's a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of things just in general that actually do assist with antihistamines. And one of the weirdest ones that I actually found that I was actually avoiding because I actually stopped for like the longest time was caffeine. Now I don't know if I'm having like caffeine withdrawals or what, but I felt like last time that I accidentally did have some caffeine, and as many of you guys know, having caffeine with anxiety really isn't the best thing due to the fact that it might cause your heart rate to start pumping at a faster rate when you're just sitting down, and that's just a natural effect of the caffeine. Um, but with that, it could make you feel like you're having a panic attack, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether you're just having like strong heart palpitations due to the fact that you've had a little bit too much caffeine, or if you're legitimately having a panic attack. Sometimes a lot of people can't tell the difference. I know I couldn't, not for the longest time. I always felt like I was about to have a heart attack. Like I was like, oh my god, like this isn't right. But what I notice is that when I get scared, or not scared per se, but when I get worried, it does cause a sense of fear uh, that makes you feel like you're going to just like it just feels like you need to get up and move. It almost feels like you're claustrophobic, like you can't breathe. That's actually another really interesting thing that I actually feel like I might be claustrophobic. Um, I've never actually necessarily felt that way. I've always felt like I had some sort of social anxiety, but again, a lot of times it felt like whenever I was in an enclosed space, it always felt like I couldn't breathe. So it's just new things that I'm learning about myself as I go along, and I'm processing all this information, and I think I'm processing it in a healthy way. With that being said, though, the anxiety medication, like I was telling you guys yesterday, I'm still only taking about half. It's a 10 milligram dose, so I'm taking about a half for about a week, and they want me to start taking that anti anxiety medication, one pill every single, I guess, day to see how I feel. Now, it might be potentially that I don't need it anymore, and it was only like this month, and things got a lot better after the fact. Anxiety medication, I really don't want to be taking for a very long time. It worries me because there's a lot of side effects. It's just a lot of things because I know that I have a very addictive personality, which is why I asked for something that wasn't addictive. I wanted to make sure because they gave me Ativan. The Ativan, if you guys don't know, it's a anti-anxiety medication as well, and I've never taken it myself, but from my understanding it makes you feel drowsy. It makes you feel like you just want to relax. I remember my mother took it once because she also had high anxiety, and she was telling me that she just felt like she wanted to sleep all day, and I saw it too as well. She wouldn't want to get up because she felt so tired, she felt so drowsy all the time. So on a 1 milligram dose, I mean, I don't know how much of an effect that will have, but it's supposed to be fast acting. It's supposed to be like something that you take when you're on the in the midst of having like the worst panic attacks of your life. I'm feeling, and I can only equate to ever wanting or needing to use that is if I feel like I'm gonna do something stupid. Like I just can't deal with whatever is going on, and I'm just having like a mental breakdown. That's when I feel like maybe that might help. But even then, the stress of just thinking about it, uh, kind of scares me. So as of right now, I'm not taking that, and as of right now, I actually feel a little bit, a little bit better. I don't feel terrible. Um, I actually just took a shower as well. That also helps apparently, with like removing pollen off of yourself and just in general making yourself healthier. Protecting your immune system is one of the biggest things that I don't feel like I ever did. Sometimes I would go hours, if not like the whole day, without eating. You know, and I would have a smoke, and like the hunger would go away. Right? It's just one of those things where I wasn't taking care of myself. I think this journey right now, at the age of 29, is the time. I might have potentially saved 10 years of my life. I might have prolonged 10 years of my life, just because I stopped smoking before the age of 40. So, from my understanding, the sooner you quit, the better it's going to be. There are times where, things aren't going to get better for some people if they continue smoking. And I gotta tell you, the fear of not being able to breathe right is something that that anybody should really fear. You know what I mean? It's not a joke. Like, you want to be able to breathe well when you're in your 50s and your 60s. You know what I mean? Your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. So you're not bedridden. So you're not dying. Slowly. It's just stuff. I know it sounds grim, but a lot of times, like sometimes you just gotta face the reality of it all, right? Especially if you're young right now. If you guys are still young, please, I urge you guys to stop smoking. I urge you guys to take the time to really start thinking about your health. I know I'm probably the last person to be saying this, and I know that this is only like my second or third day or fourth day taking like medication or whatever, and I'm not trying to sound all high and mighty, but definitely I just things that help me out in terms of anxiety and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be rough the first couple of days. That's just the bottom line. You're not gonna be able to sleep a lot. You're gonna have some mood swings. You're gonna feel sad. You're gonna feel angry. You're gonna feel a flood of emotions. But what I can promise you is that it will get better with time. But a lot of times you need to want to get better. You need to want to do the things that you don't want to do. I know a lot of these things sound counterintuitive, but I know we're in the midst of like having, or with all this COVID-19 stuff, I know a lot of people are having a lot more problems and stuff like that. But with that being said, though, I still found the time to go out and just run errands with my mother. Uh, just getting stuff, just getting back into a routine of doing something other than being inside this house all the time. I started to notice that things got a little bit better. Things felt like things just felt normal a little bit, at least during the times that I was out and about. Yeah, sometimes I thought about my shortness of breath, and I would feel shortness of breath. Um, but sometimes I had to do a lot more with medication wearing off. Also, the anxiety causing me to feel like I couldn't breathe. Because, I mean, if I'm taking Zyrtec, it should be a 12-hour medication, right? It should be something that works, or 24 hours, right? It should work all day. It should be one of those things that not only does it make you feel like you can breathe better, but it should just be something that, being able to breathe in general, oxygen wise, it's something that you should be able to enjoy, be able to constantly have. So, Again, like I said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and continue and try not to take any of the medication, as I did not take any medication last night to sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and try all of the natural remedies. This is just pure coffee. Because if you guys look it up, caffeine, um, in some instances, will well, it does act like a natural antihistamine itself. So I'm gonna give it a try. I recommend that if you guys are gonna try any type of caffeine or anything like that, that you guys are sure that you guys can deal with what you guys are gonna feel, right? So just be aware that these symptoms, such as like faster heart rate, feeling a little like antsy and stuff like that, that has to do with the caffeine. And if you haven't taken caffeine in a long time, I know it's gonna sound and it's gonna be pretty scary. So just remember and just try to be as calm as possible. Try to do deep breathing. Sometimes deep breathing really does help. I know it sounds stupid, but if you guys pick up something called Calm, it's an app. I mean, I'm not. It's free for healthcare workers, at least now. You get a 7-day trial, and it's about like $60 a year. But it's actually really great. There's a lot of meditation stuff like that. Last time I fell asleep to something, so like a book where Matthew McConaughey was reading to me. That guy could read to me all day. That guy's voice just sounds, all right, all right. You know what I mean? Uh, with that being said, though, thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything that you guys just want to ask me, feel free to do so. I will definitely respond. I will make response to videos and stuff like that. I'll respond to you guys like this, or through comments, whatever you guys would like. But again, like I said, this is a journey. This is something that will get better. And I feel like there's gonna be nothing more than just a full ride ahead. You just want to continue. You just don't want to make any stops. You don't want to look back and be like when you start feeling better, you don't want to be like, maybe it was all in my head. It was in your head. It was in your head, and it was what's in your head that was making you sick. Now, if you continue doing the things that make you feel like you're gonna get sick, you're gonna get sick. And that's just the bottom line, especially if you're an anxious person already. A lot of times that manifests itself through your thoughts and your feelings. And a lot of times when you say something's gonna happen to you, that's called it's like you're predicting what's gonna happen to yourself, right? A self-fulfilling prophecy. You say something and it's gonna happen. So why don't you think about it another way? Why don't you just start saying positive things to yourself? This is mindfulness. This is something that makes you say, hey, I'm thinking and processing my feelings. Something that I haven't done in a very long time. This is what normal people do. This is what normal people experience. Not at the highest levels that we're feeling right now, but definitely they do feel this. But there's a healthy ways of making yourself feel better. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to have any type of outside, like anything, to make yourself fully feel mentally prepared and just in general mentally okay. I just want you guys to remember that you guys can do it. Things will get better. I just want you guys to remember that. Remember that when you guys are in the midst of your anxiety attack or in the midst of having one, just remember, talk to yourself. Be like, hey, things are going to be okay. Your self-talk has to become better. You yourself need to tell yourself that you are going to feel better. Instead of making yourself feel like things are going to get worse. That's the biggest thing. Because if you feel like, oh my goodness, such as myself, in terms of like the thoughts that I would have would be like, man, I'm not going to be able to go home and relax. I pretty much put it out in the air that I'm not going to be able to go home and relax. That's got to be one of the stupidest things I think I could tell myself. What I started telling myself is that I started to look at the positive things. Like, hey, I could breathe better when it's nighttime. Hey, I can breathe better when I'm lying down. Like, it doesn't feel like the phlegm is all over the place. And in all honesty, I think that's just what it comes down to, having a better and positive outlook. This video is going on 20 minutes, and I know I've been talking for a very long time, but I just, again, like I said, I feel like I had a lot to say in terms of like what happened yesterday. I hope that you guys will continue to not only watch these videos, but also just ask questions. Always remember that we're in this together, guys. We're here to help each other out, and we're here to take it day by day. Because a lot of times that's what we need to do. Whether you have an addiction to anything or you're just addicted to talking to yourself in a very negative manner, just remember that things will get better, guys. That's all I have for today. So long. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Peace.